What's going on, Level 10 family? It's Coach Bresh here to bring you an educational video discussing post-workout or what you should do during your cool down. Now, what I want to bring up are two very important things that I think are the most beneficial and efficient ways to cool down, and I'm going to share with you later. But before we get to that, I just want to discuss why we cool down. Now, a lot of people think, well, we cool down, we just worked out very vigorously, we're exhausted, we just need a little bit of time before we start feeling like ourselves, before we can go on with the rest of our day. Now, it's actually a lot more specific than just that. In turn, that's kind of our goal, but we want to do it in a very educational and specific way. Now, when we exercise, we stimulate something which is called the central nervous system, all right? That central nervous system runs along a continuum, we kind of have two sides to it. You always hear this all the time, right? We have our sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight, on this side over here. Then we have our parasympathetic nervous system, all right, rest and digest over on this side, right? If you want, you can draw a line right through the middle, all right, which kind of leans us back and forth. Now, throughout our day, we kind of work back and forth on this continuum, depending on what we have going on throughout the day, all right? If you think about it, maybe you're someone who is younger like myself, you live with one other person, your significant other or family member, all right, and you really have no other stressors in your life other than maybe your job, what you eat in a day, what time you go to bed, right? You probably don't cross that middle line all too often, where you kind of hover around that middle part of that central nervous system continuum. Compare that to someone who maybe has multiple children, young or older, right? You might work a high stress job where you travel lots or you're constantly in your vehicle driving from place to place, right? You might work very long hours. You're not a 9 to 5 type of person. You're probably not in that center portion of your central nervous system. You're probably more closer to that sympathetic throughout your entire day, right? Until you finally actually go to sleep, where we cross over and actually go very far to the other side of that parasympathetic side. Now, when we exercise, there are a lot of good hormones, a lot of good things that happen within our body, but the biggest thing when we look at our central nervous system is we go red line, right? We don't just cross that middle line, kind of hover in the middle. We go way over to the far side of that sympathetic nervous system. We just crash it, right? That's our heart rate increasing. We push our heart rate nice and high. Our blood pressure rises, right? Our muscles contract. We kind of feel that tense or that flex, you could say, right? A little pump, We work way over into that sympathetic nervous system. We hang out over there. Now, say you're a person who comes to the gym early in the morning, or you're a person who comes to the gym late at night. We go and we jam pack that sympathetic nervous system. We just crush it, right? Crush that workout. You feel great after, but your heart rate's through the roof, You're breathing heavy. You finish that workout. I'm gonna take a couple minutes. You feel like you've come down. You're breathing normal again. Well, that heart rate's still very high. Let's say you're the person that works out first thing in the morning. Now you take all of that stress from your workout. You feel good, but you're in that sympathetic nervous system. Now you get in your car. You drive to that stressful workplace, right? You drive that stressful workplace, or you go home. Maybe you take the kids to school. That's the stressful portion of your day. Then you go to work. Then you carry that stress throughout the day. Then you carry that stress in the evening. You're still riding somewhere on this left side of that continuum, that sympathetic nervous system, right? You actually don't even come anywhere near that midline. And then you want to lie down at night, or you want to tell yourself, hey body, let's recover. Let's fix all those muscle fibers that we broke down during our workout, right? Let's build. Maybe you're someone who's trying to get stronger. Let's build more muscle. But you're all the way over here. You're fight or flight the entire day. Your body doesn't get a chance to rest, doesn't get a chance to cross that line and go to rest and digest. It stays in that sympathetic nervous system the entire time, So, why we cool down? We want to take all of those stresses, we want to take that red line, and we want to bring it to that rest and digest. Again, let's take that example, someone who works in the evenings. You're someone who works out in the evening, so you go finish your work day, maybe you're leaning a little bit more to that sympathetic nervous system side. You go to the gym, you're trying to relieve stress. You think it's very, very relieving to do that, which is great. But now that nervous system is way over in that sympathetic nervous system side. we're way over red line again, and then you go home and you want to fall asleep. You're still way over here. You're nowhere near that rest and digest parasympathetic side. Even if you bring it over a bit, you might cross that middle line, but you haven't actually reached all the way over. Now when you go to sleep, you might have troubles falling asleep. You might fall asleep, but might not get a great sleep. Or you might have a great sleep, but your body's still working kind of close to that midline of that parasympathetic nervous system, and you don't get that full benefit of a recovery. So you don't actually build all the muscle back. You don't actually, release all of those toxins, all those toxins within your body, right, that help you grow, help you feel better. So you might wake up a little bit more sore the next day. You might wake up feeling like, you worked out very hard yesterday, but wasn't that hard of a workout. Again, we want to get all the way over to that parasympathetic nervous system, okay? Now, how do we do that? Our goal in our cool down, our post-workout, that 5 to 15, maybe 20 minutes, okay? Isn't just to stretch out to feel good. Isn't to be loose the next day, okay? All benefits. Our goal is to take our body from that sympathetic nervous system and bring it all the way over to that parasympathetic side, okay? Even just get it across that middle line. So you're that person in the morning, we take that 15 minutes, we get you across that middle line. Now when you're sitting in traffic, rushing to work, you're not all the way over here still. You're kind of in that middle line. You're starting that day a lot more relaxed. You're feeling a lot better about yourself, feeling great about leaving the gym. Now, studies have shown that if you look at your sympathetic nervous system, you can almost look at that as like your heart rate, okay? Midline would be just above resting. We want to get to that parasympathetic side, which would be resting heart rate. So in that 5 to 15 minutes post-workout, we want to take our heart rate, which is skyrocketed or very high for our workout, bring it all the way over, okay, to our parasympathetic side. We want to bring that heart rate down. The faster we bring our heart rate down, the faster we go from sympathetic to parasympathetic, the faster our body goes into recovery mode, okay? The faster we do that, the more time we have to recover, the better we feel the next time we work out or the next day, or we get a better sleep, etc., all those things like that. Now, first thing I'm gonna touch on, okay, is foam rolling. Everybody loves foam roll. Everybody loves to stretch, okay? When you foam roll, there's a certain way to do it, and I'm gonna show you how to do that now. All right, you guys, so the reason why we foam roll post-workout is to kind of get rid of all of that built-up fluid that we've kind of put into our muscles throughout the workout. We're trying to move that out of our system. So if you think of terms like, very layman terms like lactic acid, that's kind of what we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to increase the amount of clean blood, new rejuvenized blood flow into our muscle. We're trying to roll all of that out. So when we do our foam roll, what we want to do is we want to work from proximal to distal. So what I mean by that is in the video here, we want to work from our knee all the way up to our hip. Now, a couple key points is we always want to work one leg at a time. We never just want to roll both legs. We always want to roll with a purpose. So when we get set up for our foam roll, we want to make sure that we have a very stable base. So as you can see, we have a knee out to the side there, and then we have both elbows down on the ground, and then we're rolling very slowly from our knee up to our hip. Now, when we get to the top of that position, we are going to contract our antagonist muscle. So we're going to contract that hamstring. So we're going to bring that foot up to the butt and really try to contract and loosen, contract the hamstring and loosen up the hip flexor as we work through that, and kind of get all of that blood flow moving from kind of the knee all the way up towards our center of our body. Now here's another example, doing our hamstring instead of our quad, right? We're starting from the knee, rolling up to just underneath the glute, and then lifting the leg at the top of that as we work through that, right? So we just want to get a lot more blood flow to the muscle in which we just worked, and we're just trying to get all of that back into our lungs and our heart so that we can clean that blood flow, get all of those fluids out of our system as we work through that. Now, if you want to, another way, if you want to think of it, you can think of it as our veins and our arteries are like the major highways within our body for all of our nutrients and everything like that. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to push all of that there and out of our system. Awesome. Now, second thing I want to touch on, which I think is the most beneficial thing that we can do to help reduce our heart rate, to help us feel better, and it will always put us in that parasympathetic nervous system. I've seen military uses it, okay? I've seen a lot of high performance athletes and trainers use it, and I believe it is something that is often overlooked within our lifestyle, within our workouts. Now, very simple. A lot of you guys have probably seen me do this or shown this to you already. Couple of things that it's been called belly breathing. It's been called diaphragmic breathing or diaphragmic breaths, okay? Literally all we're doing is focusing on how we breathe, all right? Something very cool. We breathe anywhere from 14,000 to 40,000 breaths a day. Now let me know how many times in a day do you focus on your breathing, on how you breathe, okay? Let me know, do you work on your breathing posture is what it's called. Do you work on how you breathe the air in and how you breathe it out? Now, if you don't work on that, it's exactly like an exercise. You don't benefit from it. You don't get better at it, right? If you never practice a squat, you'll never get better in your squat. Same thing with our breathing. In turn, what's gonna happen is our body's gonna learn how to breathe more efficiently, and that's exactly what we want. At the same time, we're gonna get a lot more air into our lungs, a lot more air into our body, be able to bring that heart rate down a lot faster. So, I'm gonna show you the best way to do this. All right, I'm gonna show you the best way to do this, and we're gonna discuss a couple alternatives after. Now, you guys, I have an athlete here laying in the most ideal position in order to bring that heart rate down. Again, the goal of our post-workout is to go from that sympathetic nervous system all the way over to that parasympathetic. So I have him lying where his legs are comfortable, feet can be out or wherever they kind of fall, knees are bent at 90 degrees, hips are at 90, lying on your back with your palms facing up at a 45-degree angle and nothing on your face, right? Most ideal would actually to be having the lights off, but for the purpose of this video, we have the lights on just so you can see what Carter's doing here. Now, again, focusing on that diaphragmic breathing, I have Carter moving one hand onto his belly and then one hand onto his chest so that he can really emphasize and focus on his breathing technique where he's breathing into his stomach first and then his chest, holding that breath for a couple seconds and then breathing out, releasing the breath out of his chest first and then his belly. Really just trying to focus on breathing nice, slow, and controlled and allowing that heart rate to come down essentially as fast as he possibly can so that he can go from that sympathetic nervous system to that parasympathetic and go right into recovery mode. Again, this is the most ideal position to lie in. Sometimes you can't get into that most ideal position, but this is exactly what we're looking for when we're trying to bring that heart rate down. If you want to add even a little bit extra, pick a nice, soft, soothing sound to go into your ears, right? Something like Jack Johnson or anything of that nature. Awesome. Thank you, Carter, for being my little demo there in that example. Now, say you're a person, Tom, I work out from 6 to 7 a.m. I gotta be at work at 7:30. I can't just lay down for 5 to 15 minutes, throw my feet up on a box, close my eyes, and rest. Check this out. You're sitting in traffic, you're at a red light, sitting in your car, one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. That entire red light, you can breathe into that hand on the stomach, and then the hand on the chest, and then reverse that movement, all right? Another great way to do it, I call it Superman breathing, okay? Not my name, got it from another trainer. Hands just underneath the bottom of the ribs. What we focus on is breathing outwards. Instead of rising in our chest, rounding our back, lifting there, focus on breathing outwards, okay? We can do that standing, we can do that sitting, we can do that lying down. Those are two other alternatives that we can use in other settings other than just lying on our back with our feet up and our hands to our side in that very relaxed state. We can do that by sitting in our vehicle. We can do that by sitting in the break room. We can do that in that 30 seconds to a minute we have post-workout. Focus on that breathing, relax through, focus on large, deep breaths. Again, as stated, as I was talking with Carter, focus on large, deep breaths. Breathe into the stomach, should take about 5 to 6 seconds in. Hold that breath in for about 5 to 6 seconds, and then should take 7 or 8 seconds to breathe out. Focus on breathing as much air out as you can. Now, give both of these a try. Focus on your breathing the entire thing. See how fast you can reduce your heart rate post-workout. See how fast you can go from that sympathetic over to that parasympathetic nervous system continuum. See how fast you can go from a heart rate over 100, say back to your resting post-workout. Let me know how that goes. Enjoy your 60 days of summer, guys. Have a blast with it. I will see you at an outdoor workout soon.